Operation Sindoor is an operational term used by them. And when they say it is not over, the reason is, to me, as an international law person, it comes across as a situation of war is continuing from Indian side unilaterally on Pakistan, and Indus Water Treaty holding in abeyance is a subset of that war strategy. They are launching this war from Afghanistan side, the proxies who come in. They're launching this war through other means by incorporating Kashmir territory. They're launching this war against other measures. And now IWT holding in abeyance is partially because, in their reckoning, since they have claimed the territory of the Kashmir under Article 370 pursuant to Presidential Order of 5th August 2019, and they have got it verified by the Supreme Court of India. So in their reckoning, they claim the territory over which Kashmir, over which Indus and other waters flow. And it is in their strategic calculation one way to dislodge IWT as well, to remove it off. And when they do that, which they have done, it is a serious wrong under articles of state responsibility which were prepared by International Law Commission, which, and you can clearly demonstrate without much arguments that this holding in abeyance tantamounts to a serious international wrong which permits Pakistan countermeasures, both coercive and non-coercive in nature. Pakistan has been exercising restraint as much as it can. It will continue to do so. It will continue to exercise lawfare measures, which mean writing to the UN Security Council, to the P5 members, because it is no longer a treaty matter, ladies and gentlemen. It has become an issue of the UN Charter, where there is a threat to regional peace and security. So the jurisdictional mandate, apart from judicial apparatus under IWT, is now with the P5, is by with the Security Council and the Office of the UN Secretary General, because it is his office who has to take cognizance that a situation is deteriorating in subcontinent between two countries, and deteriorating fast. And there have been multiple efforts being made to salvage, and the state of Pakistan, through its ministers, its prime ministers, its military chief, has made it known to the global community that we will be left with no choice except to resort to certain measures that we don't want to. And in that case as well, in another seminar, we were discussing that yes, dams and dikes are traditionally protected sites under Geneva Convention Additional Protocol Article 1, Article 56, 52 to be specific, for the reason that mischief escapes from them and that causes a lot of damage to civilian property. But up to the point when the pondage is filled with water, the protection is not triggered. So you have a time zone of considering extreme actions that, as I said, Pakistan will be reluctant. So it's become an issue of the UN Charter that the situation between India and Pakistan is deteriorating fast, and the pretext remains IWT. It's a larger frame of an armed conflict that India has imposed upon us, and it is using various measures, and IWT continues to be a subset of that war framework. I also suggested in one of my write-ups, and we did it when the PMLN government was there last time in 2016, I believe, an idea of legal diplomacy between India and Pakistan. And the recommendation was we organized a seminar, and in that seminar we even invited people from the Indian High Commission, and we said that we issued several issues, Kashmir, Siachen, Sir Creek, have partially legal dimensions to them. Each issue has a legal angle to it. So let's legal sides on both the sides, legal team on both the sides, sit together and examine if they can hammer out various options from a legal point of view and then present it to the political leadership. But again, as I said, the responses do not seem to be. So the rule book, what India has to also realize that if it moves away from the global rule book, the treaties that we are talking about are not 1, 2, 3. They are a stack of treaties, ladies and gentlemen. And if you go to the UN treaty series website, you will be taken aback that there are millions of treaties. They constitute the rule book of global order, not one or two. The more you move away from the rule book of global order, the more you lose credibility and standing, the more you bear cost. President Trump, we remember when he said statements on Alaska and Canada, the cost was evident. The allies began to move away. So irresponsible attitude from the Indian side on a treaty which is otherwise known to be a boundary treaty, which is otherwise known to be given enhanced sanctity under Vienna Convention and customary norms, is that they are beginning to bear the cost of being alienated. And one reason why Pakistan is leading in the regional discussions and alternative dispute resolution mechanism is because Pakistan wants to behave as reasonably as possible, as legally correct as possible, and that is how its teams and its measures are responding to that. So my concluding remarks would be that there is absence of good faith on the part of our Indian neighbor, and we sense it very clearly. The biggest evidence is the holding in abeyance. The problem that people talk to us and they ask us in streets, in the courts where I move, in other events, that why is India doing all this? Why is that they don't understand? They have international lawyers. There is an Indian Society of International Law. So aren't they telling them that they are? And I say this has been politically driven. It was part of the agenda in 2016 when President Modi came to power. He talked about two distinct things. One was that we will remove Article 370 and then we will get rid of Indus Water Treaty as well. And that is how they are moving in that direction, irrespective of the legal inherent obligations that they have to face. So I'll stop here, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that our neighbor senses this, that not only we have an obligation to let flow the water, we have an obligation also not to disturb the water flow, otherwise it will affect the agriculture, it will affect and inflict the possibility of starvation for which we will have dreadful consequences. Once again, thank you very much.